thanks for everyone for joining us on a Friday evening. You could be doing a lot of other things, but you've chosen to spend some time with us. So we really appreciate that. As James always says, your time's the most valuable thing. And yeah, we're just grateful that you would come and listen to us ugly guys, eh?
That's me, not you. But yeah, I'll get it. Looking a bit rough these days. Well, I'll get the boring bit out of the way, Adam, as we always do. Let's get that out of the way now, eh?
Yeah.
The disclaimer, we call it. We're not financial advisors, everyone. Those people who've been on here before know that. But we have to say this every single time. We're not financial advisors. We are financial educators. We make people financially aware. Mm-hmm. We give them the information and they can either do it or don't. And it's as simple as that. But we just share information with you, which you should have been taught really at school. You should have been made aware at some point anyway. But this is all about precious metals, and like we say, everything we share with you, we're all about empowering you to make your own decisions and not telling you what to do. We won't tell you what to do. We'll give you a little bit of direction here and there, but we won't tell you what to do. So that's what we're all about, is empowering you to make your own choices. And we just believe that too many people are reliant on outside sources, on the government is one of the biggest ones. They're reliant on the government to look after them. And I think people are starting to realise now that the government are not there to look after us. And I certainly don't believe that. I believe we need to all take back control of our own personal economy. And this is one way of doing it, taking back control of that, and taking what I'm looking for there.
Take responsibility.
Responsibility, that's the one. Taking responsibility for your own actions, and I think it gives you empowerment. And many people have actually approached us and said that they feel empowered by making their own decisions and taking back control. That's the main thing for us, isn't it, Adam? Is control. Sometimes I struggle to explain myself properly, but I think I got there in the end.
That's what
we're not here to tell you what to do, is what we say.
Yeah. It's a tough one as well, because I think a lot of people do want to be told what to do. I guess it's the easy option, but there is a lot of power in learning it and understanding it for yourself. Because if you are just relying on one person to tell you what to do, when they're not around, then you're lost. And we always say we're trying to do ourselves out of a job as quick as we can, so that you don't need us, you don't need to for us to even guide you. You just say, "Yep, I've got it all, thanks," and see you later. So that's the dream for us, to lose more followers than we're gaining.
Yeah. Well, that a lot of people have been asking us regarding the switching side of it too. As many as people have been asking us, not just about switching, about buying metals anyway, what to buy, what to do. But the closest thing to telling you what to do, which we're not, is the Telegram group, which we'll tell you at the end anyway, for those people who don't know. But we're going to be sharing with people on our Telegram group, just our Telegram group. We're going to be sharing what we're buying and why we're buying it, and when we're switching, what metals we're switching to, etc., etc. But again, we're not telling you to do that. We're just going to be sharing with you what we're doing. So that will help people, won't it, Adam?
Yeah, I think it will. And the way I kind of see that, and when me and James spoke about this, is that, sometimes you see how all of this, you see us explaining it and you see how it all works and you say, yep, I get it. And then when you go and look at it yourself, sometimes you can go, what did they say again? And how does this work? And for us to put on there what we're doing, you can check that against your thoughts. And if they match up, then you've got some frame of reference to say, okay, well, yeah, that kind of shows I get this and I'm on the right track. If we're doing one thing and you're doing another, then maybe it's a good idea for us to have a chat and just be like, okay, why were you thinking that? And then just kind of set you back on track almost. But not to tell you what to do, but just to give you some frame of reference to throw your ideas at.
And it's not one size fits all, is it? Everyone's in different situations, all right?
Yeah.
Everybody that contacts us personally over the phone or gets in contact with us and speaks to Adam will quiz you to death and he'll find out what situation you're in. And everybody's in different situations. There's different. It all depends on you personally, doesn't it? Is what I'm saying. Everyone's
Sure.
different. Some people, precious metals isn't right for them right now. Some people it isn't right now. Some people have got so much debt and they're paying so much interest, and sometimes it's better off doing something with that debt and getting rid of that debt, because that's going to save you more than what you would have made on your precious metals just by getting rid of that debt quicker. We've done that a lot in the past, Adam, haven't we? Just showing people how to get rid of their debt a lot quicker than what they would otherwise.
Yeah, and I think, you know, by decreasing your debt and accelerating out of that, you then free up more cash that you can then buy precious metals. Yeah, it's just the order of doing things. So, and some people say, look, you know, I always remember I had a guy once who called up and said, I want this bar of gold, this size only, and I'm going to bury it in the garden. You know, that was that's what he wanted. And who am I to tell him that, you know, that's not the right way to do it? It's preference part of this stuff. So I just said, well, look, how we do things is a bit different to that. So let's find you a solution that works for you, and you get digging your hole. And just remember where you've dug the hole. Otherwise, So
well, just before we get into this, Adam, we just need to maybe just touch on the why gold, don't we? I think with everybody, because people are at different stages on this call, aren't they?
Yes.
Some people might be weathered precious metals investors, or maybe been in it before got started. Some people, this might be brand new to them. So I think it's a very good time to maybe just touch on the why. It's only very briefly, but touch on the why we buy gold so you can relate to it.
Yeah.
And it isn't actually the growth, is it, Adam? We say this every time. It isn't the growth. It's nothing to do with the growth of precious metals over time. Don't get us wrong. That's nice, and that we do want that.
But it's secondary.
It's secondary. Yeah, it's secondary to control. All we're doing really, the main thing for us is taking back control. I mentioned that, didn't I, at the very beginning? It's all about taking back control. And one of the best ways of doing that is getting your cash out of fiat currency into real money outside of the system, outside of the banks. Because when it's in the banks, it's doing nothing for you. It's losing its value. It's getting hammered by inflation. The banks are making money from it. You're not. They're giving you peanuts for it. And that's even if they're giving you anything at all. They have control over it. They can take it from you. They can restrict you from having it. And they do this. And they have done this. We've got evidence of this. So why would you have it in there? I only have enough in there to pay bills. That is it. The rest of it is out. It's in property, precious metals, crypto. It's just anything other than in a bank.
I always remember, James, you said to me many years ago, if you only observe the masses and did the opposite, then even if you didn't really know what you were doing, you'd probably end up like pretty okay. And I think as most people, because you don't get taught this stuff, you know, you put your money in a bank, but most people are losing value. So just literally observing what everyone's doing and doing something different will put you generally in a better place.
Yeah, you're walking in the right direction, like you're heading in the right direction, at least, if nothing else. Yeah,
it's important. It really is. And I was listening to something earlier today about inflation, and they were talking. I've heard previously that there's been an increase in inflation, and it's just going to be transitory. It's going to come and go. It's not going to last. But now consensus is starting to twist, and people are saying, well, actually, it's probably going to stay here for a little bit longer than we thought. And it's the whole nudge factor, isn't it? You know, same with when you listen to politicians, they say, oh, you know, we would never do that. We would never do that. And they say, well, then the next time you see them and they say, well, you know, we wouldn't rule it out. We keep all options on the table. And then the next thing they say, well, we're going to trial it. And then the next thing you know, whatever it is, it's in full blown operation. And I think that's why you've got to do your own research and look at this stuff for yourself, because if you follow everyone else, you are by definition following one step behind, and you want to kind of make sure you know what's going on for yourself. It's way more powerful that way.
And that's why on all our webinars and seminars and whatever we do, we'll always say to people to do their own research and look into these things themselves. We'll always say, don't believe us, go and find out for yourself. Don't just blindly believe anybody. Go and do your own research. Please do your own research.
Yeah, there's enough data out there and enough places you can do research and see this sort of stuff for yourself. It's interesting as well because media outlets have agendas, and you can see. I've even looked at it before when I've been looking up some news about precious metals, and on the same page of different news articles, 2 different news articles with kind of different links, and one said gold's going up and the other one said gold's going down, and I just think there's just an opinion there. There's an angle. So look at it for yourself. What is it actually doing? It's easy for anyone to say silver's going to go to the moon tomorrow. That's very easy. But do your research. What do you think it's going to do? And what has it done in the past? What's its track record? And have some basis in something that's real, in what's actually happened. And that just gives you a bit of a foundation. Same with this gold-silver ratio that we're talking about. The more time you spend around it, the more you'll get a feel for, is it low? Is it high? What is it actually saying? And I think it's probably good to talk about that now, because the price of gold and silver has, I think it dropped yesterday and today. And obviously that affects the ratio. And with gold, even if they drop, when they drop, usually gold will drop less than silver. Silver's a little bit more erratic. So what that does is it pushes the ratio up, even though, and this is the thing to get your head around, both prices have come down, but the ratio has gone up, which is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? That 2 things that make up this ratio have gone down, but the ratio itself has gone up. And that's because they've not gone down equally. So when you do the calculation of the ratio itself, you actually get an increase, even though both things have come down. The ratio at the moment, let me just have a look on here. So the ratio now is at 78. At this moment in time, as we're recording, it's at 78, which I don't know if there's anyone that's watched any of our other videos about kind of switching and the gold-silver ratio. In fact, let's have a little poll. Let's do it. Just put in the chat box, at 78, what are you looking to do? What are people thinking and considering to do? Are they moving metals? Let's go for 2 things. What would you be switching from and to? And the second, what would you be looking to buy at a ratio of, say, 78? Let's have a look. Let's see. And we'll get you to write your answer, swap it with your neighbour, and then they can check it for you in the digital version. Yeah. So people are putting in here. Yeah, gold to silver. Yeah. You wouldn't go far wrong. 100% silver. Yeah. Sell gold, buy silver. Exactly. Well, that's kind of really nice to know that, the information that we've put out has been well received, digested. You've definitely picked this up far quicker than we did. A lot quicker, actually. Perfect. Yeah, gold to silver, sell gold, buy silver. Yeah, exactly. So that's something
if you own gold right now, but if you don't own gold, in this account, I haven't got any gold, so I've just bought silver.
Yeah.
And that is the same as if somebody wasn't switching. It obviously gives them. It also helps them. It gives them an indicator to know what to buy, doesn't it? Even if you're not switching.
Yeah.
So it would help. It would help somebody out if they were just buying it and not switching it. So yeah, silver's really good value for money right now, is what we're saying.
Yeah, and that's I always say to people, look, go with if switching is something you want to do, then it makes sense to go with the flow of the ratio. So if the ratio is saying 78, move gold to silver, and you're about to buy, then don't buy gold and switch to silver. Just buy silver. Go with it. You're going to start the cycle at a different point. So you're not gold to silver and back to gold. You're silver to gold and back to silver. But the principle still applies. As long as you start and end on the same metal, then you can see an increase from, you know, however many grams or kilos or ounces you start with and however many you end with, and you want to see that increase. So someone's put, I've just bought silver, do I leave it as is? Yeah, exactly. So because if people are now looking to switch gold to silver, you've just bought the silver. So yeah, you're in the right, you're doing the right thing. You're just in a slightly different phase. So you would go silver to gold and back to silver. Yeah, but totally right. Totally right. It's good to know. Good to know that, that it's sunk in, and I guess we've communicated it to some level of understanding to people. That's good.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So a few updates on the switching side of things. So everything's, if you're in the US, this doesn't apply to you at the moment, but please trust us, we're working very hard to make that possible. Everyone else outside of the US, we were talking about the 15th and a lot of things being launched on the 15th. And everything's gone really well, actually. The company that we work with for metals that enable us to, is all to switch, are kind of releasing things in phases, which makes sense when you realize how much they're actually doing. So all the new tariffs are now up and running. So you can purchase on all the new tariffs. The switching can be done manually, no problem. The automated switching is just going to be another week or so, couple of weeks maybe, just because it's quite an intricate process. They want to test it and just make sure everything's all looking good. But in the meantime, you can do manual switches. So don't feel like you have to wait to do that. Yeah. And think about it this way, you could actually just start the cycle from your silver. So you could manually switch gold to silver, for example. And then let's say the automated switching comes in and you're in silver, you could then just automate the process from silver to gold and back to silver. So you just start at another point, but the same thing applies. So
yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, isn't it, personally? So
yeah, we're also, a lot of people have had questions, rightly so. There's a lot of new things, a lot of change, which is very positive, but it means there's questions. And we're very aware of that. We were trying to get everyone just over the line by the 15th, just to make sure we captured as many people as possible that said, yeah, this is something I'd like to do. But now we are focusing on making some probably shorter videos on how to actually do this on a practical level. So how do you actually go in and do a switch? How do you transfer metals from one account to another? How do you go in there and, when the automated switching's all ready to go, how do you do that? How do you get any bonus for the, on some of the tariffs, you get like a bonus of some free metals. How does that work? How do you get that? So please don't think we've forgotten about you if we've, got everyone over the line by the 15th and then you think, okay, now what do I do? We're very aware, and we're going to be making the videos to make all that possible and to really help you along. So, great. Shall we have a look at some questions that people have sent in? I'll ask James some questions. See what he thinks.
Oh, you love it, don't you? I don't get to see the questions at my end, you see.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Adam has full control. He has full power. And he loves it.
Someone's asked here, can you buy metals with cryptocurrency?
Of course you can. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great question. There's a lot of people, which is what I'm doing, which is definitely what I'm doing.
Yeah, give people that don't maybe have an awareness or aren't involved in crypto why you would want to move crypto into gold.
Was that a question? Was that you?
So just give people an idea that aren't into crypto or maybe don't have much exposure to it. Why you would do that?
Well, just for me personally, I don't want it all in crypto because it is still, even though it's been going, 12 years or something, 12, 13 years, it's still very volatile. And I like to take my profits because I've made some good profits in crypto, but you need to know what you're doing really in crypto. I've made some good profits. I just like to secure them profits and put them into something physical. I'm still not fully on board with the digital. I don't like having everything online, so I do like to keep swapping digital for physical. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
not everything. So I just make my
Mhm.
profits in crypto, and then I like to secure it, protect it.
And would you say that would you ever go gold to crypto, go the other way?
I'm more likely to go the other way myself personally.
So crypto to gold
But
is more the way.
it just depends on people's stage of life and what their risk to reward ratios are, and just risk factors are, and how, you know, people in later life probably better off sticking with metals, aren't they? But no, I mean, I'm more likely to go crypto gold myself personally.
Yeah.
It's just a safe haven right now. It's what most people are thinking right now is saving what they've got and protecting what they've got, rather than trying to make loads of money. I'd rather just secure what I've got, you know.
Yeah, sure. I think a point on that really got our attention is that precious metals are more about, you know, securing, protecting what you've got. But the fact of switching means that you can have this added element of generating more metals. We had a really good chat today, and we were talking about the idea of having a critical mass. So having a pot of gold, of silver, that you don't touch, you just switch. And let's say you make, you know, 10% a year or something like that. That could act as your own retirement fund, and you never eat into the critical mass, the amount that you start with. You just generate a profit on top of that, and use that profit to live off, or to, you know, have the metals delivered, or do whatever you want. And I think it's quite easy to do, really. Once you get your head around it, it's not complicated. You're not going to sit there all day, you know, staring at your screen, and it can bring as a secure and mainly kind of wealth preserving commodity into something that's income generating, which you wouldn't associate with gold usually.
No, you don't do it. It's never sort of associated with gold normally, is it? But it can be done. Once you've done your first switch, what you make, you could take out and leave your original amount in, like you just said.
Yep.
I mean, for me personally, I'm just leaving it in because I can. But that's because I'm able to do that right now. But it's nice to have the option, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you're not taking anything out, you're just building the pot bigger, aren't you?
And compounding it every time. Because obviously you've got, next time you switch, you've got more in there to switch. So it just compounds over time.
So we always get asked about pensions, and pensions are, I think they're always a big topic because it's what's left for you in your future. And over time, those pots grow because you can't touch them. Then they grow, and it's just, you know, it can be quite a substantial amount at the end of your working life. We are working really hard. James had a chat with a guy today, looking at different options to secure pensions in metals if they want to. And I think
we've got it all wrapped up in the US, haven't we? We've got that side of it all good. We're just looking at the UK now, our own country, and the rest of Europe, and offshore, being able to, you know, keep your metals offshore legally, obviously, doing it all the right way. So that's what we're looking to, because there's actually some benefits. One major benefit I found out today is that if you were to pass away, what your spouse would get 100% and a little bit more actually of your pension.
And that's if it's offshore, right?
If it's offshore, yeah. But if it's, and I didn't know that, and it's a lot less. I think it was 55% otherwise, which people don't even realize these things, you know. So these are the things you need to know. Like, we're not pension specialists at all. That's why I was speaking to that guy today. We had a coffee and we're just talking over it and seeing if he was the right person for the job, because we have to have the right people that care, and they're not in it for the money, really. We need to find other people that are in it for doing the right thing by people. You know, finding the right people to work with is quite difficult at times. But this guy seems really nice. He seems to really generally care about people and want to help them. So yeah, we're just looking into working with him now, because we've had a lot of interest, a lot of people within the UK and Europe asking us about pensions. But like we say, we've got the US. That's one thing we have got going with the US side now, which is good. It's just the rest of us who want to help, don't we? So we're trying to fill gaps, Adam, aren't we? And help everybody.
Yeah, and I think pensions is one thing that we can help.
It's a massive one, isn't it?
Yeah, by ticking that box and finding a solution, we can help a lot more people in kind of one go. You know, everyone has specific needs and requirements, but pensions would really, it would be a big brushstroke. We'll be able to cover a lot of people with that, which is good. I think the nature of pensions, you feel detached from them because they're so wrapped up in regulations and rules that what you can and can't do. And so anything we can bring the power back into your hands, we'll look into it. But just please be patient with us. It's learning for us as well, you know, learning how all the pension stuff works and what you can and can't do. But as soon as we've got something, we will definitely bring it to you.
Yeah. We are getting there, mate, aren't we? We are getting there. So
yeah, sure. So a question someone's asked here, and I kind of understand why they would say this, is they asked if in what we're doing, buying metals and switching, are we using the stock market to do that? And I think the reason, and I'm totally guessing here, so I'm please don't think I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think when you've got physical metal, then actually switching between it doesn't seem possible in the ways we're probably talking. So we don't use the stock market. Actually, we buy physical metals that's legally owned by us, and for the most part, we have it stored in high secure vaults. And that's what
some people might think that, but we don't.
And that's why we can make all this stuff possible, because it's done in quite a specific way. It's the other reason why, because it's real physical metal, and when you buy it, it's a transfer of legal ownership. When new things are rolled out, it sometimes takes a bit of time because these are physical metals. There's moving parts that need to be lined up and wrapped up, but it's for the best, and it's all set up for the long term as well. So definitely worth the wait. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Question about crypto again. This is probably not the best forum for crypto, definitely not with me anyway. Obviously you can move crypto into metals, but people looking for more info about crypto, which is is anyone James, that is good to listen to or research?
Well, you can chuck people my way, mate, and I can point them in the right direction, can't I, or speak to them. Anybody want to know more about that?
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Because if people do speak to us sometimes about property and mortgages and things, because we've dealt a lot in that in the past, haven't we? So you chuck them my way, don't you? So I deal with that side of it because I've got quite a few properties dotted about, and I used to teach people how to invest in property and things like that. So I'm a little bit more switched on with that, Adam, aren't I, with that side of it?
Yeah, sure. Let me just read this here 1 second. So someone's asked how do you switch metals, physical metals, in a different way to just buying and selling. So you buy gold, you sell gold, you buy silver, you sell silver. I would say have a chat with us to see if it's possible for you. I don't know which country you're in, but the way that we do it is we actually buy part of a larger bar, and that gives us loads of flexibility, and it's the flexibility that underpins all of this. Because if you had individual denominations of gold and silver, then moving between them would be really difficult. It would be a logistical nightmare for sure, because each bar's got a different price tag attached to it, and then you're moving from so many grams of, so many 1 gram bars of gold, so many 5, so many 10. And then you're moving into silver. Well, how many bars do you get? And it would just be really difficult. So we've not seen any other way of doing it other than the way that we currently do it. Happy to look at other options. We're always exploring and looking at new things, but this seems to be the best and most efficient way, because
that's the word.
It's all about making a profit. And to do that, anyone that is in business or just kind of common sense, you want your cost to be as low as possible. So yeah, that's how we do it and why we do it that way. Good question here. Gold silver ratio, what is it? So someone hearing it for the first time, which is great. So simply put, the gold silver ratio is it's comparing gold and silver, the price of gold compared to the price of silver. And it's a good way of navigating between what to buy and what metal to switch to, and which is undervalued relative to the other metal. That's the best way to think about it. So you're looking at one versus the other.
If you visit our website and just click on the workshop tab, you'll be able to see our latest video on that, and it'll explain it all, what the gold ratio, silver ratio is, and what have you.
A question that we do always get asked as well is, where do I find the gold silver ratio? Do I need to work it out for myself? Do I need to get the price of gold? Where do I get that? There's loads of websites out there. There's loads of places. There's one that I use mainly, no affiliation with the website. I just find it really useful. And it's called goldprice.org. There's kind of too much information on there. Some days you look at it and you think, gosh, there's the price of gold in so many graphs, tables, charts, and it's kind of a lot. But if you have some key points on there, and you know where to look, then in fact, shall I just share my screen and show you how it works, how the goldprice.org works and what I look at?
Yeah.
Let me just pull this up here. The reason I like it as well is because we speak to people in different countries, and you can change the currency, so you can make it relevant. So here we've got the performance of gold, the price of gold. In this one, we've got the price of silver, and you can change it, switch it. You can change the currency as well. You can change it ounces to kilos to grams, whatever you want to work in. And you can do it over different time frames. I always look at the big zoomed out time frames because we're in it for the long term. You can look at the performance of metals over different time frames here, snapshots, today, 30 days, 6 months, a year. It's the 5 and 20 years that we really look at, the longer periods of time. 30 days, today, 6 months, even a year really is too short to make a decision on. But these longer time frames, you can make a decent decision on what's the long-term outlook. So yeah, loads of stuff on here. I use this. This is just snapshot. Each one of these bars is a day, and you can see how the performance each day. And this is live data, and it's kind of moving up and down. So that can be quite useful. You can also type in here at the top. So if you want to look at silver, you can just type that in there, and it'll update for silver. And you can do the gold silver ratio. There we go. And this shows you what it's been over time. You can zoom out and have a look at that. So the ratio today is 78. That's what it's kind of settled on, which is, as everyone said, a good ratio to be moving into silver, or definitely buying silver. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And this is just to show you this. I know we spoke about it briefly earlier, but this is the ratio going up while we've got the price of silver going down, and we've got the price of gold going down too. But because they go down at different rates, the ratio has gone up, and it's saying that silver is a good metal to buy. It's undervalued. The other thing you can look at as well on here that I find really interesting, it's not, oh, there we go. You can look at the performance of metals against different paper currencies. So this is silver against different currencies. And then you can look at an average here as well. So what it's done per year. So tons of information on here. You don't need to work things out. You can just jump on here and it'll just tell you. So gold silver ratio, if you're looking for the number, you can see it here, 78. So you've got it right there. Do you use goldprice.org, James, or what do you use?
I use this one. I use the same one, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really useful, isn't it? It's great. You've got everything you need on there.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Let me have a look at the other questions that we've got coming in. Here we go. So taxes. People interested to know about taxes and how metals are taxed and the situation. I guess, look, we have to say for this, we're not accountants, we're not financial advisors, as James said at the beginning. And taxes in each country are different, whether that's personal taxes from profits of selling metals or even taxes on metals when you're buying. Let us just give you some general, really, really generic stuff that seems to be the case in most countries, okay? Gold is, when it's 999.9% pure, is usually tax-free when you're buying. So tax-free when you're buying. Silver, palladium, and platinum, the white metals, in most countries, but not all, have a sales tax. In the UK, we call it VAT. It stands for value added tax, which is no value to us, but value to the government. And it's just a sales tax. That's all it is. And that tax differs from country to country. But if you store your silver, palladium, and platinum in a bonded warehouse, a vault in a duty-free zone, then you don't have to pay that tax. So that can be really useful for putting more money in your pocket. The other thing about taxes, I spoke to someone earlier actually about switching between metals and whether that's classed as a taxable event, moving from one to the other. The company that we work with for switching, they said that they've spoke to an accountant and that it wouldn't be classed as a taxable event because you're not actually touching the cash itself. Depends which country you're in, and it depends what your accountant says. Please, do some individual research on that. But that's generally what we're hearing. So just to give you a bit of feedback from the kind of the community and what people are finding.
I think it's very similar to property, Adam. Unless I actually sell my property, then it doesn't come into play. But if I just keep refinancing it, refurb, and this is what I used to do, refinance, pull the money out and put it into another property, it doesn't, and that's the way I look at it. You're just moving it from gold to silver to gold. You're not taking it out, are you? You're not taking it out as cash. You're not selling it. You're not selling it.
And I guess it would be similar in the stock market. I know pensions have allocations in the stock market where they would be moving from one stock to another, but because you're not touching the cash, then it's not classed. You're not taxed on it as a profit. So, again, do your own research. It's not an area that we are experts in or qualified to advise you, but it is something that we get feedback from and we look into to some level for ourselves as well. In the UK, it works a little bit different with to other countries as far as profits on metals as well. So look into that. There's definitely things to. There's things that you should probably look at now rather than just before you're about to sell metals, because you can get prepared and maybe be creative and move things around. You might have some options.
You're better off knowing sooner rather than later, aren't you, Adam?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's better to do it that way. I think that might be all the questions. I think we've gone through everything. Should we mention the Telegram group again, James, just to clarify what we're going to be doing on there?
Yeah, but it's anything to do with switching too. We need to go over. I'll go over the Telegram first. Yeah, just to reiterate, everyone, the Telegram group. If you're not on there already, or if you've not even heard of Telegram, it's very similar to WhatsApp. So you just need to upload it on your phone and then just join our GoldBusters group. You'll find us very easily, just GoldBusters, and then you'll get people on the Telegram group get a little bit more than what everyone else gets, and we'll basically keep you updated with what we're doing, everything that we're doing. So it helps. I mean, we've done this because we've had requests for it, Adam, haven't we? We've had people asking us to tell them what to do, basically. And obviously, because we can't do that, we just thought, right, the next best thing is just to share what we're doing and why we're doing it more so. We need to give you that little bit more information behind it. But we'll be sharing everything with you. When we're selling, well, I'm saying when we're selling, I don't sell. I'm not looking to sell for a long time, but when we're buying and why we're buying, what we're buying and why we're buying it, what we're switching from to and why we're doing it, what we're switching at. We're going to be looking at smaller switches. We're not looking at massive gaps. I don't think we're going to be switching at smaller, shorter. So I'm looking at you, Adam. How to explain it?
Yeah. So
maybe even like 78 to 70, maybe that's what we're looking at. Just smaller switch. We want to switch more often rather than waiting for the big points.
Yeah. And the reason for that is rather than having a really wide, really high range, 30 points in between the ratios, is because you've got to wait a long time, historically speaking, if we look at how the metals have performed, to get those, for those to actually happen. Now, this is not saying that that's wrong to do. Yeah. No. If you're making a profit, then happy days. That's as long as you're making a profit, it doesn't matter. It's just different ways of going about it. With the way the world is, and that there's uncertainty, and you don't really know what's around the corner. A lot of some days, to have metals. Let's say you're going from gold to silver, and you're doing it in a shorter range, then you're going to be back to gold again in a much quicker. And the reason that that's a benefit is I wouldn't want to be sat with a lot of silver for the really extended period of time, because if you had to get it delivered or something like that and taken out of the vault, then you'd have to pay the VAT, the sales tax. Yeah. Or you would have to switch it back to gold and maybe take a loss because the ratio's not really come out right, or so it's only probably a finer point to all this stuff, but
good point though, isn't it? It's a good point, really good point.
Yeah, we think it's generally better to have for ourselves to have a bit of a shorter range and do it more often than having a really wide range and be sat around for years and years and years. But that's just our preference. There's loads of ways of doing it, and it's not.
We'd rather be switching more often, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Maybe you're listening to this and going, yeah, actually, that idea works for me, and doing shorter ranges makes sense. Or you might be saying, I understand what you're saying, but a wider range would, from what you've said, works better for me. So I can just let it do its thing, walk away, and come back to it in a few years.
I think it all depends on your stage of life too, though, doesn't it? A person's stage of life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, great.
Big difference.
Anything else to mention, James?
Is there anything else to do with the switching, Adam, that we need to mention? Like the verification, that's maybe a good point to mention.
Yeah, I think what I would say is we're going to be doing some videos to help you to switch and do all of this stuff. There's some administrative side of things on your account that need to be done for you to switch. And rather than us kind of telling you about all of that now, it's better that we give it you in an instructional video that says, hey, to switch, before you do that, you need to have done this, and this, and here's how you do it, and you can get prepared for it. So we're going to be making those videos. We're going to be sending them out. So please join the Telegram channel and keep an eye on your emails. And then, if there is anything we can help you with, please get in contact with us. But we are going to be preparing everyone because the ratio is looking good and ready for a switch, I think. What do you think, James?
Yeah. Well, that's why we've been holding off, haven't we? We've been looking at the ratio every day, getting excited.
Yeah, it's going.
That's why we jumped in today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's going the right way. So I think we don't want to be greedy, because you can kind of go, it's going to keep going forever. But I think we just say, look, be disciplined. This is the bit we want to take, and we'll let you know when we're pulling the trigger on that, and the steps that you can take before that to get ready for it. So, yeah, perfect. Well, look, thanks so much for your time, and I hope it's been of some value. If there is anything we can help you with, please get in contact with us. You can go to our website, goldbusters.co.uk, send us a contact form, join the Telegram channel, watch some videos on there. And yeah, hopefully we'll speak to you soon and we'll get some switching done.
And please share that. If you think your family could benefit from this too, by the way, please don't keep it to yourself. Please share this information with your family, because that's the first thing I did when I learned all this. I shared it with all my family and got them all involved, so they're all benefiting too, including my little boy. So it's very important.
Perfect. Right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good evening. We'll speak soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.